Okay.
Ava will talk to you.
Okay.
Prime Minister of Nepal for his presence here, and to all our special and distinguished guests. I'll also request all of you to kindly take your seats and cooperate with us.
The Kathmandu Declaration. But before that, let me also share something else that we try to achieve in these conferences, and that was very well reflected. And for us, that's the most important legacy. That friendship will lead to things that we don't know what will happen, but it will lead to good things, we believe. What we are also trying to do is to bring out what we are calling the Kathmandu Declaration on agencies who are here. It's just a general view of the people who are here, and we spent a lot of time thinking about what should be innovated to the most vulnerable communities. And here we would like to cite the example of Nepal, who has not just done 50% but has allocated 80% of the fund by sharing with us what you are doing and how much you are spending for the most vulnerable. And so finally, what we then did, to them, we had a representative from the city government of Surat in Gujarat in India, who got the details. The theme for next year.
So this particular 8th conference is focused on financing for CBA. So let me address some of those issues. Dollar for input, dollar for effect, dollar for welfare. There is no better ratio of cost effectiveness than community-based adaptation. And how to do that, you are the experts. So it seems to me that one of the very important things that is being done here is this bottom-up education that comes from your experience, from your field expertise, you who are on the front lines of CBA, to really be able to inform the levels above you as to the cost effectiveness and the importance and the urgency of community-based adaptation. And there, as we have all done already, but I would like once again to acknowledge Nepal's leadership, both in its creation of the concept and application of LAPAS, as well as on its determination for the 80% to go to community-based adaptation. That at the national level. But it seems to me the Kathmandu Declaration is also serving as a body established by the IPCC. That is a transformation, ladies and gentlemen, that humanity has never undertaken. That is a transformation that not only has to be undertaken, but it has to be undertaken within the time period. Because otherwise, we have to learn from our failures. And the reason why we have to learn from our failures is because we cannot fail the next. And the reason why we have to learn from our failures is because we cannot fail the next. So let's read to it, not on how many pages it has, not on how many chapters, not on how many conjugate verb or
From the perspective, from the global perspective, I would just like to share with you that the government of Nepal joins all the development of the text, and they also ground the text so that the agreement is not something that should be esoteric and not having an impact. And Salim and Atik,
They were hosted. The main points of this relates to the focus or the theme of this conference, which is financing local adaptation. So the focus is on advocacy is both global as well as national. National governments we appeal to allocate the most vulnerable, and that those who are making these decisions of allocations need to report back on what they're
my name is Sophie.
around the world and for food security, many companies are investing a lot of money already to develop seeds that are drought resistant, because they know that there will be a lot of areas around the world that will not have the kind of precipitation that they were used to with their crops. And of course, those companies are interested in selling seed, so they need to produce seed that is going to be drought resistant. There's also a huge movement among the enlightened architects and engineers of the world who are already looking
like green climate fawn or adaptation as LDCs and the other developing countries expected. Just Salim mentioned that.
and there are currently a waiting list, including a project in Nepal that is actually waiting to be funded, and they're doing some fundraising for that.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Sure.
It's very evident that Nepal is an extremely vulnerable country. First, perhaps and foremost, for everything that has to do with water resources. So both the fact that glaciers are melting every day at an accelerated pace.
IPCC report as well, which was released recently.
The IPCC report is very clear. So the first thing that they need to do is they need to invest much more into renewable energies, into energy efficiency, into the new technologies that are going to allow them this. All of the governments are in a well, not all of them, but certainly the industrialized countries are in a financial crisis. And various sections. I think the chapters of the agreement are already very clear, right? There's got to be a chapter on adaptation, there's got to be a chapter on mitigation, finance, technology, capacity building, equity, transfer of technology. So I think their intent is to pull together from everyone their views on these particular elements of the text and then reflect that back to parties. And they want to be able to have you all consider a strong draft in Lima. But in order to do that, and in order to then take that document farther, you know, the next ADP co-chairs are going to have a huge job in front of them, because the draft text that comes out of Lima, which will still be full of brackets and options and things like that, needs to be finalized by May. Because in May, that's the 6-month period, you know, that is demanded by the legal requirements. And in May, that document needs to be finished, translated into the 6 languages of the UN, and sent out to all the governments so that they can be then considered by cabinets. So the next set of ADP co-chairs will have a very, very short time period, the first 6 months, to finalize that document. They will then have many other issues to work on, all of the decisions surrounding the agreement, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, the organization was founded in 2009, and we had a first small operation going on. Meanwhile, we acquired this bigger plot of land, which took some time.
Very good.
And we are very happy to have you here,
Well,
to welcome you here.
Thank you. It's quite
And
exciting.
to give you a peek on the reception and processing of the waste.
Okay.
And,
and
the more further we come this side is the waste ground into the market itself. Now we have advanced the market purchasing the and nowadays containing materials such as clay or sawdust or branches, leaves.
And is
we mix that.
this already the optimal mixture? paying for the supply or no?
like this.
Yeah.
But we're gonna experiment with different meshes throughout the screen. So we're gonna make different granulates.
Oh,
The fine one and the more coarse one.
Do pH and what else?
No, the lab is still under construction, but we hope to do at least the temperature control, moisture control, and pH.
Samples there, you don't
Yeah,
test everything.
that's it.
Right.
And this one came in two components. We arrived here in the hilltop at Chobar, and then we said, okay,
Now what?
now what? More than what we are doing now. So this is a startup year, and we hope to be doubling, tripling our production in the next year. Very good.
Friends and family.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
this.
Thank you very much.
अरू को आउनु भएको थियो सबैलाई हाम्रै मान्छेहरू प्लान गऱ्यौँ सम्पूर्ण सामानहरू उहाँहरू चाहिँ मलाई चार्ज चार्ज दिनु उहाँहरूले होइन मेट्रो सामान सबै गरेर उहाँले बस्न खाना चाहिँ छुट्टै त्यही पनि गरेर मैले चाहिँ 800 अनि मैदा पनि हामी यसलाई फिन्सी गरेर चाहिँ गर्छौँ है
salt to compact it and build it together.
To conserve it.
Wow.
मेरो तालिम चाहिँ मैले उहाँ
To cook it. To make it. And when was this? Does he remember when this one was made?
आँगनमा बस्नु दिनुहुन्छ है एकदम खुसी हुनुहुन्छ अन्त तपाईँ 50 रुपैयाँ गर्नुभएको छ हैन सोसियली
It's less smoke. And what about the use of wood? Is it less wood? Is it use less wood?
लगायत सबै ठाउँमा उहाँले चाहिँ चुलो बनाएको रहेछ र उहाँको चुलोसँगै एकजना मान्छेले फेसबुकमा पनि फोटो राख्नु भएको रहेछ अनि त्यसबाट पनि मलाई अलिकति चाहिँ त्यो एडभर्टाइज जस्तो भयो चुलोको मलाई
And then he paid for the cost of him to come here, and then he's also in the neighborhood made other cook stoves, so they feel it's much better. And also the fuel wood that they're using has
Just
reduced.
less. And he saw this on Facebook.
Facebook बाट देख्नु भएको
एकदम उहाँको दाइको चुलोको प्रशंसा सुने मैले फेसबुक मेम्बर छ चुलोकै कुरा गर्छ तपाईको हामी एकपटक इटा काट्ने चाड बनाउने इष्टमित्रले पनि ओहो यो चुलो त बडो गजबको रहेछ तपाईको मान्छेलाई झिकाइदिन पर्यो भनिरहनु भएको पर्यो भनेपछि मैले मलाई बोलाएँ उहाँले आफै टाइम दिन सक्नु टाइम दिन सकेछन् मैले एउटा
तपाईँ चाहिँ चितवनमा बस्नुहुन्छ
हैन मेरो घर चाहिँ खासमा त धादिङ हो अहिले चाहिँ घर हाल्छु
Difficult to convince anybody.
अहिले हामी 6 मैले गाविसमा पनि 1000 घर बनाउनु भने चाहिँ लक्ष्य छ यहाँ
Okay, so he has contract or committed himself for another
9 महिनाको
1,000.
बेचमा
Another 1,000.
1,000 भन्ने हैन
1,000
in 9 months.
That doesn't work. Because 1,000 is, if you can do 2 a day, that's 500. And you don't have 500 days in 9 months.
He's one of the few doing it
All the time. Okay. Tell him in my part of the where world I come from, we also have this, and it's the women who are building the stoves,
Okay.
and they build it for each other. So one
Okay.
woman will take care of building the stoves in
stoves.
in her own village, right? Because
Okay.
मेरो चाहिँ नि जस्तै ढोका त्यहाँ भयो ढोका भएपछि हामी त्यो चुलैपट्टि फर्किनु पनि पर्दैन छोरी यसरी यहाँ बसेर खाना बनाउने हो गर्दाखेरि हामीले किन उता मात्रै फर्किरहँदाखेरि ढोकाबाट
Okay, so every time they will wash it off. So it's
एकचोटि खाना
clean.
बनाएपछि हामी त्यो पुरै सफा गर्छौँ
Traditionally, they've done that even.
Where do they get the firewood?
यो काठ त्यो दाउरा कहाँबाट ल्याउनुहुन्छ?
मेरो आफ्नै बारीमा मैले रोपेको छु
Okay.
त्यही काट्छु पनि फेरि रोप्छु पनि गर्दाखेरि सधैँभरि भइरहन्छ
Okay, he has his own garden where he plants it and then each person has their own usually. Especially if the elder of the household would have their designated.
Yeah.
Nobody else sits.
Nobody else sits.
And you can have a little bit about our program, which is yesterday evening.
For cooking, but just for keeping things warm.
We have
That's in here.
water boiling. We have
So-
not included the picture, but we can send you. We
okay.
have water boiling chamber in upper mountains.
Okay.
Metallic,
okay.
totally metallic.
Yes, because many women, I mean, it's the women who are saying, oh, this is nice, but I would like to have.
Hot water.
Yes. Particularly women.
Yeah.
They will innovate very quickly.
International level. Focus on mitigation and adaptation through knowledge sharing, technology transfer means eco-friendly technology. We are on a planet which have a problem of guided rules and regulations.
Myself is the oldest person here. Paul doesn't count. Who is the oldest among you who are here for this is the third day? So just to get a sense of what, so do you go up to 18, 19, 20, 21, 31?
About climate change effects, because the fact is that in our own lives, and that is the scary part.
Us to cross that river, but now there's no any water on the river, so we can easily walk. So that is what I face.
Also experienced the defects in food producing systems, and we all have experienced that each and every year the climate, the weather is getting warmer and warmer, and that's what I've experienced.
The very, very difficult thing about addressing climate is that although it is a global problem, the patterns, the changes in river flows are very, very local. They are very local, and they are felt by those of us who live there at an individual level. The fact is, although it's difficult to understand, the fact is that it is precisely the individual efforts of every single one of you and all of the other people around the world, the rest of the 7 billion, who are going to solve this. That does not excuse the governments from their responsibility. Governments must take the decisions that they have to. And the other responsibility is to use your leadership and your understanding to push down into your communities to make more people aware. Is when you become the decision makers and you then begin to establish policy in your communities, in your districts. Understand that if we continue to use fossil fuels the way we have been using them in the past, our global emissions will continue to rise, and we will likely hit a point at which not only will we have the water scarcity that you're talking about, but we may have much more disastrous weather. I would be very happy if one of the first projects that the Green Climate Fund actually funds in Nepal would be a woman-led project. And we actually work toward that. You're not
कि भाइ
Actually, the gate is over here, but so we'll just
Go to where we should go. Okay.
but down part is not from
Very,
the end of
must be very hard.
Very hard, yeah. Very hard, yes. There's a saying that Saul takes 100 years to check the shape. And the case are
Do most of the festivals still survive?
yeah, most of the festival over here.
Being protected?
Yeah. And that is also there. It is it's usually around 6 p.m. Yeah, in some sense.
Same shape. Like magic.
Yeah, it's magic. It's always fascinating. Get them there.
Experienced fingers.
How much pottery fetches for them? Like how much it costs? It costs around 30 to 35 rupees.
मामा घर यहाँ नि कहाँनिर